Hi, my summer Knees 235. This is our third lecture, and it's on physical fitness. So, beginning of a class like this, we want to differentiate between health, wellness, and fitness. Last week we talked about health and wellness. They go together. Wellness was the positive component of health. This week it's fitness, and we can talk a lot about fitness. This is not a long lecture, but this is one of the main reasons that our class exists. So it's multidimensional, just like wellness is. We're actually going to learn 11 dimensions today, but I'm going to tell you why we really just focus on 5 of those 11 in this class. A good, simple definition that you can kind of know, and if somebody asks you, well, what does fitness mean? It's your body's ability to function efficiently and effectively. That's just a really short, succinct definition in terms of how is your body functioning? Is it functioning, at its kind of capacity, maximum capacity, in a positive, efficient way, and you don't have, problems breathing or problems with going up and down steps or being tired all the time. How fit do you feel? How fit are you? It's different than you're feeling. It's okay. Let's do it physical. So it's not the same as health and wellness. It's not the same as how you feel. Am I fit? Am I unfit? Well, let's see. Let's do some fitness testing. So here are the dimensions of fitness. The first 5 are referred to as health-related physical fitness. These 5 are the ones that, if this was a face-to-face class, which it normally is, part of our class face-to-face, which unfortunately we're not able to do as a group this summer, is to go to our fitness center, which is in the Towson Center, where we have treadmills and ellipticals, and we have circuit weight machines, and we have Smith machines, and bench presses, and so that's something that we're missing this semester because of the COVID-19. But when we go to the gym, we focus on these 5 health-related components or dimensions of physical fitness. Cardiovascular, cardio is your heart, vascular is your blood vessels, so that you have nice open blood vessels and that they're not blocked and the oxygen flows freely. That's your heart and your respiratory system and your breathing. That's your aerobic activity, being able to sustain something for an endurance long term, like more than, around, we'd say, like 10 to 20 minutes is your minimum, but an hour, up to an hour, which is your cardiovascular endurance. Muscular endurance, that's repetitive motion of being able to pick things up, doing multiple sets of something at a high rep workout. Muscular strength would be like your bench press or something that's a maximum output, where you couldn't do a lot of reps. You pick a heavy weight and you keep the reps like typically under 5. So anywhere from like 1 to 5 would be a strength workout where you're going to get fatigued by the time you get to that number 5. Where in a muscular endurance, you would pick a weight where you want to get fatigued to like 12 or 15 reps and then take a break and do another set. So that's endurance. Flexibility is your range of motion within a joint. So that would be your stretching activities, which are very important to do. And then body composition is your ratio of how much muscle, the composition of your body. How much is muscle, how much is fat. And there's ideal numbers. There's numbers that are high that would categorize somebody as overweight or obese. There's essential, where you want to have some body fat in order for the fat to do its purpose. So those are the 5 health-related components or dimensions of physical fitness. The 6 skill-related dimensions of physical fitness, which makes up, when you say, okay, your body's functioning effectively and efficiently. Skill-related physical fitness is tied to making you more, you're not born with skills. You need to learn skills. So if you're going through elementary school PE and middle school PE, it's where they teach you how to hone these skills. And there's some people have a better command of these skills than other people. So that's why skill-related isn't really a focus in this class, because you don't have to be agile and have good balance and good coordination to have good cardiorespiratory endurance, to have good flexibility. So agility, balance, coordination, that's 3 of them. And then the other 3 are power, which combines it's often referred to as combined because you have to take strength and speed. So you're using a health-related dimension and another skill-related dimension, put it together to have power. So that's often referred to as a combined dimension. And then reaction time, I always think of goalies with reaction time, which is being able to, like move quickly, have good hand-eye coordination, and speed. So this is a good picture. I tried to pick one that kind of represented a good variety of sports. But in this class, we want to stress that health-related fitness is considered more important than skill-related fitness. And the reason being is that health-related fitness, or you might see HR sometimes in this class, is directly related to reducing the risk of hypokinetic diseases. Things like stroke, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, back pain, obesity. Those things can be also can be linked to too little movement. So I want everybody to come out of this class being able to tell me and somebody that asked you, what does hypokinetic mean? Hypo means too little, not enough, or under. Kinetic means movement. So if you have too little movement, you're at a higher risk of a hypokinetic disease. And that ties into last week's lecture when we said that lifestyle is one of the main contributing factors now to premature death and disability. We can kind of sometimes look at people's lifestyles and say, hey, they never get up off the couch. They never move. They don't do anything aerobic. They don't do anything cardio. Movement helps with this. So when you go to the gym or when you do a workout with your team or just go for a walk outside, you always want to warm up your body first, elevate your body temperature, get your muscles kind of woken up and saying, okay, listen, we're going to start moving. So warm up is very important. You structure your workout. After you warm up, you do your workout. You go for your walk. You do your treadmill. You do whatever you went to the gym to do. Then it's really important to cool down because that's the reverse of the warm-up. You bring your body temperature back down to its resting state, your heart rate and your body temperature, and then stretching is very important. So that structure of a workout can be plugged into anything that you're going to do. So it's always good in this class, if I were to ask you, what is the structure of a workout, you would tell me, okay, there's four parts. First you warm up, then you do your workout. We can call it our conditioning phase. Then we cool down, and then we stretch. So, my computer's working this week. Continuing this, our focus this week is fitness. Continuing with fitness, I'd like you to learn a lot of fives in this class. 5 principles of physical activity. They're general principles. A principle can also be called a guideline. They're not rules. They're just things that say, okay, you're not an athlete. You're worried about your health, your health-related fitness. You want to work out. You know the structure of a workout. Now let's look at the 5 principles of physical activity. The first principle, which is the most basic, because all the other principles kind of stem from this one. So this kind of does go in order. Because you need to know what overload principle is to build on the other 4. So the overload principle is doing more than normal. It's not a negative thing. Sometimes you think of the word overload as being too much. It does not mean too much. It just means more than normal. Okay, so if my normal is being sedentary, just sitting on the couch all day, once I start getting up and going for a 10-minute walk, I got a puppy and I want to walk my dog, that walk is overload because it's more than my normal. So in order to get benefits, health-related benefits, you need to do more than normal. Because once your body gets used to doing something, you don't see any results in terms of your health and your fitness. So an example would be, if you never pick up a dumbbell, once you start picking up, a 5-pound dumbbell or a 3-pound dumbbell, that's overload. Once you start doing something that's not your normal, that's overload. Now, you take overload, and you're going to see how that's what I mean by overload is the most basic. And once you understand what overload is, that's more than normal, then you have to say, okay, well, once I get a new normal, I need to change it and add to it and make it harder, longer, more frequent, or the duration or the intensity. So the principle of progression means that you don't want to do that too quickly. Like, if you just got a puppy and you never really get off your couch, you're not going to go for a 5-mile hike with your puppy. You're going to build up to a 5-mile hike. So overload should be gradual rather than a major burst. If you have a major burst, you could have excessive soreness, which might make you quit and say, oh, that's why I don't exercise, because look how sore I am. But you did too much too fast. So the most effective training is when you become progressively more challenging over time. The principle of specificity, that is one of the 5 principles, but a lot of times you can think of that more in terms of athletics, I think, because if you have a specific goal that you want to benefit, like say a specific part of your body, you want to run a marathon. If you want to run a marathon or a 5K, then you're going to specifically train for that. So you're going to do aerobics, you're going to do cardiovascular fitness. If you're a catcher on the baseball team or the softball team, you want to work your legs so that you are able to hold that squat position for so long, playing field hockey or something. So you pick a specific benefit and then you train for that benefit. So it's called the principle of specificity. So I always tie that in to a sports example. The principle of reversibility means that if you stop for too long, because the next one says you do need to rest and recover, but if you stop for too long, you could lose any of the benefits that you have gained. So it's the overload principle in reverse. Like say you take the summer off, or just this whole COVID-19 when the gyms were closed. I know a lot of people were going, it was an emotional and physical drain on people because they were so used to working out, and your body starts to lose the benefits that it had acquired through a regular workout routine, which is what we want to do. So when you're forced or when you choose to stop, you're going to lose some of those health benefits. And then the principle of rest and recovery is, okay, we want you to rest. We don't want you to rest for too long, but we want you to take some days off. You don't have to do back-to-back exercises. So in order for your body to adapt and benefit, you need to allow time to recuperate. So there you see the overload again. It's going to kind of pop up in every one of these 5. If you don't give yourself some alternating days off or in between hard days, easy days, then you could get overuse injuries, and then you'd have to stop, and then you go into reversibility. So there's a sequence of these. So you got 5 principles of physical activity. If you violate some of these principles, you're kind of setting yourself up for maybe not being successful. And there is a acronym that I like to teach these 235 students. It's called DOMS. It'll come in handy in your life. I know you've probably experienced it, but you might not know what it's called. DOMS means delayed onset muscle soreness. That's after you do some sort of intense workout that your body's not used to. You might have applied overload, but you violated the progression principle and did too much too soon. 24 to 48 hours. I think I have a definition. Yeah. 24 to 48 hours after an intense exercise, you're going to feel sore. Like you're going to get up and say, oh my gosh, why do my legs hurt so bad? Why do my arms hurt so bad? Why do my abs hurt so bad? Oh yeah, I remember what I did yesterday. I violated progression. I don't think I did. I did too much too soon. So this comes up handy, and I hear this from a lot of my past students and my family members. They're like, what's it called when I wake up the next day and I'm really sore? And I say, oh, it's called DOMS. So that's something that I like to teach, delayed onset muscle soreness. It happens, doesn't happen immediately. If you get sore immediately, that's something in your body called lactic acid, where you get like a burning sensation and kind of a pain. That's more of a anaerobic kind of first minute or two. That's different than DOMS. DOMS is, you don't even know what happens until the next day. So I wanted to teach you guys this. And I think that's the last slide. And I didn't have any frozen. So your first test is Wednesday. I'm going to talk about this. It's not the first time you're hearing about it. It's going to be these 3 recorded lectures. When you take your test on Blackboard, I want you to take it sometime during the day on Wednesday. And you have until 11:59 p.m. is the way that PeopleSoft works. So we'll talk about that in one of our face-to-face